Geographic. You see this nest? You want to know what built this nest?
Oh, hell no.
You don't want to know what made the...
No, thank you. Look at that tongue, though.
Are snakes.
If Kung Fu was a bird,
Respectfully accurate they are.
it would be this bird.
Where they spam a river dance on a...
What's that tongue doing?
with a thigh gap, no less.
Watch the world burn. I love them. Wow. I already love them. Wow.
Thanks to feathers that allow them to
What
fly
does
almost
it mean? I knew I loved this band. Most owls are terrifying. Carrot, chameleon. Casual Geographic. Let's go.
Nani? Slick back. That's what I said. Slick back. No, I'm a pimp named Slick back. Pimp named Slick back.
You see this nest? You want to know what built this nest? You don't want to know what built this nest. You want to know what made these bones? You don't want to know what made these...
No, thank you. Oh, hell no.
This bird's a buckbeak coated me to my mental stability. The harpy eagle's a homicidal hippogriff with the jungle census on its hit list. And a big reason is harpies having the largest claws of any bird. Not only do they have vice grip talons that could comfortably dap up a grizzly bear's paws, they say getting gripped by them is like getting caught in a Rottweiler's jaws. They're the national bird of...
And Rottweilers, aren't they like bred to like, once they latch onto something, they don't let go or something like that?
Enema, but you
That's
be
probably bad.
Which is Jurassic reject takes your breath by crushing your windpipe. But by far the most out-of-pocket thing is what nature went ahead and did with their wings. Unlike most birds its size, harpy eagles have relatively short wings. I'm talking about if eagles were the NBA, this would be their build. But the short wings just means this life unsubscription service can duck and weave through the dense jungle to catch a body. Which also means there are very few things alive in the Amazon that a hunting harpy can't pack up, from monkeys and sloths, to armadillos, snakes, and porcupines, to other predators like ocelots and foxes. They'll also body other birds like parrots, and they'll even murk other raptors like vultures. But then, what even is a raptor? The answer might just surprise you. Raptors are what?
Dinosaur. Dinosaurs are raptors. Oh, they're called raptors. See, I went to school. See, I'm smart.
What most people might call birds of prey, which is already a problem because there's plenty of other birds that'll have you preying. So the raptor title gets gatekept to the birds with all three: a sharp hooked beak, a Jurassic style pedicure and talons, and an OP sense of sight. So without a hooked beak but webbed feet, the demonic garbage chute misses the cut. Chronic Crash Out the Canada Goose doesn't sit at the raptor lunch table, because if it did, it probably would have seen that coming. But the whole raptor...
Alright. Lock on. Put the dead symbol, like the dead, you died, Dark Souls thing, the dong, like you're dead kind of thing.
Because if it did, it probably would have seen...
That's that goose right now.
Things a pain in the prostate, and it's because raptors, they're basically cats that can fly. You remember the cat video I made and how insanely convoluted the names got? Like how...
Look at that tongue though. What's that tongue doing?
A black panther isn't actually an animal, a cat called a panther isn't actually a panther, a snow leopard is genetically closer to a tiger, and how a cougar pushing 220 ain't a big cat, but a cat barely a $110 is. Raptors are low-key the same, where the name raptor doesn't describe a family reunion, but like Black Panther, raptor is more like a description. But I'm gonna get to that. Now, the other problem with raptors is that nature basically bamboozled them. Of course, the ability to fly is broken, but it comes with hollow bones. Now, hollow bones aren't to keep the bird light enough for flight. It's more that pneumatic bones are filled with air and so give extra oxygen to fuel their flight. But it also means a broken bone is a career-ending injury for an avian, and as hunters, they run the risk of getting folded by their own prey. The compromise is, raptors have some of the most heinously creative ways of confiscating consciousness, revoking your existence. Whatever you want to call it, the bird of prey hunting strat is straight out of the pages of a mob boss's torture diary. And we can start with the secretary bird, aka Jurassic Park.
Did that bird try to take out a vehicle to eat with a stick? Because I know they use tools. That's wild. That bird is drunk. Go home, bird. You're drunk. I'm sorry, but the car is your size limit there, buddy. That's a moment of Eyes too big for their stomach.
Barking yoga pants, named after the fact that, like a secretary, they'll connect you to the big boss upstairs if you give them the chance. They cancel prey by kicking them in the head until they flatline or just lie flat, and their usual targets are snakes. The combo of delivering multiple kicks in the time it takes to blink, and how disrespectfully accurate they are, all adds up to a 6-piece serpent assault where they spam a river dance on a snake's skull until it caves in, leaving the snake out of order like a reptile dysfunction. You gotta hand it to them. That's pretty metal. Actually, you should do the opposite since the
If Kung Fu was a bird, it would be this bird. You wonder if Jackie Chan would like one of these birds, now that I think about it.
Kung Fu crane can apparently shatter the bones in a human hand. And it's not just snakes. Secretaries will go after things like cheetah cubs and baby gazelle.
Secretary birds are one of my favorite birds.
They can be an honest 4 feet tall, with a thigh gap no less.
Just
As you can
look
see, they're
pretty.
liable to violate snakes and beauty standards, all while being one of the few birds with 2 pairs of wings, no Red Bull. This high-stepping battery charges with all the smoke, literally, because they'll gather around brush fires just for the opportunity to murk any small animal running for its life. Don't let the pretty privilege distract you. It's an African assassin chicken and
They will literally and figuratively watch the world burn. I love them. I already love them.
boots dressed like a recently divorced mother.
I'm falling in love,
They're not
chat.
the only ones, because I'll be honest, I low-key forgot this bird existed. This is a Seriama. It's basically a Latin secretary bird, but the real family tree flexes they're the only living relatives of terror birds. Yes, those terror birds. They might be less vertically gifted
The birds that scared dinosaurs. And the reason why Tyrannosaurus Rex became a chicken.
at less than 2 feet tall, but instead of kicking, Seriamas rather body slam their prey to death. The dinosaur time forgot will grab prey and slam them into the ground or against a rock repeatedly. They'll spam suplex as many times as it takes for the bones to break. And if you're too big for all that, they'll use the same sickle claw their prehistoric cousins used to hold down prey and disembowel it alive.
That's what I'm gonna do to you, chat. In Minecraft.
So if you get targeted by a Seriama, you'll either get the Hulk to Loki treatment, except from a travel-sized terror turkey, eviscerated and violated while pinned by a weaponized toenail, or just swallowed clean like a Vorophile's wedge tree. So far, we have a curb-stomping aggro bird and a mob boss build and terror bird final form. And we're just getting started. This is a kite, and before you ask, this was named after the bird, not the other way around. The kite is like the forgotten little brother of eagles and hawks, and like a kite, they catch bodies by hovering above the ground and waiting for movement so they can swoop down and snatch it. I believe kiting is the expression.
Kites were named after a bird? You learn something new every day. Yeah, Peace, that's, I'm pretty sure there's like an ancestor of the, or like a offspawn of the T-Rex that has hollow bones. I know there's like a few, there's like 1 or 2 raptor species that had hollow bones. But hi, Peace. Let's go, Wicked, let's go, I'll knock you out.
They're pretty cool. They grief many of the insects that make life slightly less worth living. The 17-year cicada parade is basically their Super Bowl. Like the secretary bird, they too will gather around grass fires, and any animal trying to run from the smoke gets ironically cooked. But Australian black kites take it a step further,
another
by
fellow
burning
fire
twigs
watcher,
and dropping them on patches of grass. An act of avian arson that got them another name, firehawks. Apparently this is nothing new, with records of them stealing brands from indigenous cooking fires and dropping them half a mile away. There have even been scientific records of them dropping bread into water to bait small fish, and if it wasn't for this clip, I probably wouldn't believe it. You'd think an aerial arsonist airdropping inferno in a country that has up to 60,000 wildfires a year would immediately get blacklisted.
That's funny. I'm sorry, it's bad, but it's also funny. There's literally a bird out here going, arson? It's a crime? I do that. That's a regular Tuesday.
But no, black kites are protected because once again, of course a felon with wings is above the law. They're also banned in Boston, but only because we all know Boston can't stand the heat. Now,
wow. Wow! I knew I loved this man.
I have a whole video on owls, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. But this is the start of what I was talking about, because you'd normally expect a raptor to be related to other raptors. Instead, the owl's closest relative looks like a Muppet flashlight. Flashlight? What does that? Oh!
Why is his mouth that big? Chat, no. What do you mean, chat, no? Do birds commit tax fraud? Probably. They commit arson.
Well, I can't say that. Owls are predators on incognito, thanks to feathers that allow them
What
to
does
fly
it
almost
mean?
completely silently.
What are y'all talking about?
Again, you don't realize how unsettling that is till you go to bed a family and wake up a single mother. They also have a satellite dish for a face and uneven ears, so even under a foot of snow, they can hear exactly where you're about to go. Owls are 100% the closest thing to cryptids.
Owls kind of scare me. I like the baby owls. Why did I come back to Thressy? Hello? Owls, most owls are terrifying, to say the least, because of like how big they actually are. Barn owls and like the smaller owls are adorable.
Hello, Boba.
Oh, whoa. Hi, Bowing. Why are you Bowing?
With wings, and while they haven't murked people, allegedly, there's
I'm getting ginger beer burps. It's the one downside to ginger beer is it makes your burps kind of like spicy.
plenty of predators that do feed off unsuspecting humans, just like you, including arguably the worst predator of all, data brokers. There's a lot of data brokers that feed themselves by collecting your personal information and selling it to the highest bidder. And
Yeah. Wonder how they do that.
it's deeper than selling your browser history to companies wanting to know what to sell you back. Some insurance companies
Emotional damage, emotional damage, emotional damage, emotional damage. Okay.
will team up with brokers and actually raise your rates based on what you put out online. Cyber criminals can steal personal info like your social security from a broker, and if you've ever gotten one of those robocalls, I think you know who slid them your number. Yeah, the owls don't seem so bad now. Now you can email takedown requests to these sites with your info, but one, there's just way too many and you will get overwhelmed. Two, I don't have a real job and I don't have time for that, so I know you don't. But three, even if you run the gauntlet, in a week it won't matter because it'll probably be back up there. You're up against a predator that plots incognito. So it's only right that you
Kobo is freaking out.
Why is Kobo freaking out? DM me.
defend yourself with incognito, because incognito will scan the recesses of the internet for your
Incognito.
personals and submit takedowns when your
Stop
Incognito
lizarding.
pushes back and refuses because honestly, why wouldn't they?
We're trying to
Incognito
stream
won't let
here,
up,
chat.
but they'll keep
We're trying to
checking make
react
sure you don't
here.
get put back in the system.
You're being rude.
And assuming you survive the aneurysm of finding out just how many people have your information, you can rest easy knowing Incognito basically puts you on a whitelist against predatory brokers. The number of victims of data breaches has gone up over 40% in the last few years, and if you don't want to be a statistic, make sure you go to incognito.com/casualgeo and use the code casualgeo for 60% off an annual plan to guard your private data. Because believe me, if you knew some of the places your info is right now, your head would spin. Kind of like, wait for it. Yeah, there it is. That's what it looks like to get folded by a falcon. You see, falcons are cool, but they're weaker than eagles and hawks, so instead they commit to the fastest hitting runs on Earth. Literally, the fastest. So falcons like the peregrine will start up high and dive, that's called the stoop, and once the flying derecho hits triple-digit miles per hour,
Man got sniped. Just like,
If my family wasn't allergic to them, I'd get an owl or a crow, cause I know I can teach them to commit various war crimes and be wanted in every country.
I get that reference. Would you wear a clown nose? Did you know that pigeons are just about as smart? Like some of the smaller birds are just about as smart as crows if you teach them. Can't own a crow, but you can own a pigeon.
Did you know that?
they'll ball up their feet like a fist.
No!
So yeah, they really do falcon punch their prey in the past tense. Didn't even give them time to duck. Not only that, but falcons also have a toe.
That's what he's making. That's the sound he's making. He's going. Booka Booka is so very cute. Go, go.
Life's a circus, and I'm the clown.
But going back to the falcon, he's going. Can you hear that, guys? He's going.
Romeo tooth made specifically to snap spinal cords and send prey to the Lord like Sunday service, all while flying. The one-shot specialist has been known to snipe bald and golden eagles threatening their nest. And there was one time a snowy owl murked a falcon fledgling, so the mother falcon went and life-deprived the owl. There's a lot of ways falcons are built for speed, but the biggest flex is that they have the fastest processing speed of any animal alive. Compared to us, they see the world in slow motion. Falcons are dope, but because of them we have to address the whole raptor thing.
That's city pigeons' nests. And that's the only way they do survive.
Again, because instead of hawks, eagles, or any other bird of prey, the missile with wings is most related to parrots. So again, raptor isn't a family name. Most
Parrots are scary, man. He's not talking about them here because they don't really fit the criteria, but those claws aren't for nothing, you know.
them aren't even closely related. But there are a lot of falcons, like the
I'm gonna do that every time one of their beaks shows up on the screen.
American kestrel. I like them because they're pretty. Small. The colorway ain't bad either. They also factory reset prey by stabbing them in the back of the head with that tooth, but you can't deny this psychopath's cute. A black-thighed falconet is the smallest bird of prey in the weight class of a sparrow, yet they also find a way to pack up other birds.
Oh, that's a dead body. There's been a mud!
The pygmy falcon is a nest.
He's a cutie. What would he make? He wouldn't make a, he'd make like a kind of sound, you know? Like, you know? It's a football. He's a cutie.
Pirate that often shacks up in the homes of weaver birds. Normally it's a good gig with the pygmies clearing out snakes and lizards, but sometimes they'll switch up and kill their weaver bird roommates, so there's that. But there's another falcon that might just be the biggest bird off of all, and it might also be the most...
Short vid where a guy gets the cops called on him for his parrot that screams like a woman in distress.
I remember that. His parrot, I guess, heard a woman scream one time, and that became its favorite sound. Like, there wasn't anything the guy could do. Because once a parrot learns a sound, it's over. It knows that sound. It can go back to that sound if it wants. It probably used that scream because it got so much attention the first few times it used it that it was like, ooh, this way I get people to notice me. Okay, I'll use that from now on.
Underrated. Next to that is the Cara. The
Cara, chameleon.
Cara is a black Air Force
He doesn't really look like a... It's more like a...
parrot. Unlike every other falcon, they'd rather handle business on the ground. They live on honey badger timings, since they'll pull up to a carcass and bully bigger vultures out the way. The crested Cara is a special kind of klepto. They'll straight up mob other birds like pelicans and press them into vomiting their lunch so they can have it. Striated Caras and the Falklands are a Pennywise level threat to
Man will eat another man's vomit. That's wild.
minor safety. You know, raptor comes from the Latin word to seize or take by force. That's what this avian Amber Alert lives by. Caras will also link up with each other and form gangs and have honest-to-God turf wars. Even back in the day, they were on Darwin's radar. In 1830, he mentioned how curious they were, but also how annoying it was to live around a bird that'll steal anything that isn't nailed down. Turns out this affiliated delinquent of a bird is low-key the gifted student of the raptor class, and is even smart enough to solve puzzles for fun. Basically, Caras are if the peregrine falcon and the secretary bird had a baby, but it was adopted.
So they're the Yakuza of the bird family. God.
And raised by crows and tutored by the key on weekends. Just an overall underrated menace of a dinosaur, but also a hyper-intelligent, talented opportunist. Actually, I take that back. Vultures might be the most underrated. People assume something with the feeding habits of a casket is a pushover, and they do get their cookies taken by other raptors. But vultures very much can be about that life too, especially since black vultures often won't wait for an animal to expire. They'll put weak, sick, or young animals on a shirt. Some farmers know all too well. Sometimes they'll wait for a cow to give birth just to jump the newborn and return the sender. Sometimes they won't even wait, and they'll move on a cow in labor and act like the world's most malicious midwives. Getting violated by vultures means eyes gouged out, tongue torn off, and they'll even break through the back door. Basically the booty warrior of birds, but unlike boondocks, this one's protected by law. From a surgical psychopath to a scavenger. Yet a bearded vulture eats almost nothing but bones, and they've even been known to swallow ones nearly a foot long. But once in a while they'll go after the living, sometimes in the form of
Wait, you still go after the living ones too? You'd think you'd be set with bones.
Airdropping a tortoise hundreds of feet to feed on the insides like a piñata. You know, mountain climbers were so spiritually disturbed by the beardy, they called it the bird of Satan. To be fair, they have a sclera ring around their eyes that fills with blood when stressed and makes their eyes turn bloodshot when running a fade. The Grim Reaper's working with a whole showering gun activated. I don't blame him, that is demonic character design. Also, a bearded vulture allegedly murked a man with a turtle shell to the head like Mario Kart, which sounds fake, but keep in mind, there's a woman walking around with scars from breaking a porcupine's fall. RNG can be a real ad. All that, and you still can't show me a bird with the Harpy Eagle's aura. We already mentioned that life-canceling claws that could probably crush your skull, which is why Harpy Eagles have a prey list of over 116 species. And that includes putting other raptors like Seriamas and vultures on shirts. Don't think for one second nature came out with this and stopped there. The African crowned eagle is basically the harpy of the motherland. Same survival-revoking claws, and same short wings to make it a menace to monkey kind. And they're the only raptor to allegedly see people as prey, with
For reference, Mom doesn't like birds. She's the same as I am with butterflies and spiders. Those things should be in the air. Get out of my sky. I'm a dragon here. I'm flying. You got no right to be this annoying in my space.
reports of human child remains in nests and the infamous tongue child believed to have been packed up by an African crown. Honestly, any continent outside of Penguin Land has at least one of these eagles. Australian wedgetails go after kangaroos and dingoes, and their territory would up to fade a $1,000 drone on site. There was one time a wedgie fought a helicopter and won, past tensing a pilot in the process. R.I.P.
I'm sorry, what?
Site. There was one time a wedgie fought a helicopter and won, past tensing a pilot in the process. R.I.P. The North American
Stupidness by Boba. Don't steal the chat's cake. Boring 61 bar.
Oh, why did they get cake and I don't?
SpongeBob made butterflies
No,
terrifying.
butterflies made butterflies terrifying.
golden eagle has a hit list of prey in the 400s.
I want to hear that again, though.
R.I.P. The North paid a $1,000 drone on site. There was one time a wedgie fought a helicopter and won, past tensing a pilot in the process. R.I.P.
No! If I can't burn down villages, you can't take down helicopters. It's not how this works. I mean, no, stop it.
The North American golden eagle has a hit list of prey in the 400s. But really their claim to fame is how they'll give goats a first-class flight to the gulag with no return trip. I'm sorry, this is so disrespectful. Look at this animation. He gave him an NPC death, gave him nothing but time to reflect. There's the Philippine eagle, which honestly mogs the out of everyone for no reason. But there might not be a bigger flex than the stellar sea eagle. You know, if this wasn't on camera, nobody'd ever believe you. It's one of the heaviest eagles on Earth with an 8-foot wingspan. It's an oppressive force in Featherface that's apparently been seen carting off seals. Clearly the meteor told him to take a sick day, cause dog, you're not telling me that's not a dinosaur. And low-key, they might go the same way. For all the harpy hate I was talking, there's no recorded case of a harpy eagle killing or even attacking a human. In fact, it's them not being afraid of humans that can get them put on a shirt by poachers. Add habitat destruction, and if raptors like them aren't endangered, they're at least in danger of being endangered. Which is why you got places like the Raptor Trust in Millington, New Jersey, looking after all kinds of birds from Ollie the kestrel to Virgil the turkey vulture. They got couples too, like Mariah and Thor the golden eagles. They're mad cute together. And of course the symbol of America, Colonel and Uno. Uno because of the whole one wing thing. And even though they're technically not raptors, I even met Ray the Raven. You know what's crazy? He's in a cage, and he's in a relationship with another wild raven. Like, he'll even sneak food between the bars of his cage for her. You know what's crazier? His girl has a whole nother family in the wild. I usually don't rock with homewreckers, but I'm rocking with Ray. But like I said, my favorites were definitely the owls, especially this barred owl named Sunny. I think he liked me. Although the vulture's gotta be a close second, since they'll literally walk up and follow you around like a puppy. Oh, this isn't sponsored, by the way. I just had a good time and wanted to shout them out. So if you're ever in the area, the
Can confirm some of them are like puppies.
Raptor Trust in Millington, New Jersey.
I got attacked like by a bird one time. I was running. Sometimes I would run up to, at least before I started streaming, and now I don't have time to do stuff like this, but I used to run up to the Chinese restaurant that I frequent. It used to be ran by an old couple, but now their son runs it. He's adorable too. But I used to like run up to that and eat and then go back home. On my way back home, apparently I stepped too close to a bird's nest that was in a tree or something. Because all of a sudden I get smacked in the back. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I like look around, I don't see anything. And then I see a bird fly past me. Like next to me. And I'm like, oh my God. And it starts to dive bomb me again.
Terrifying when a sick pigeon attacks you. I didn't want to fight back because I didn't want to kill it.
100% recommend it. But that's gonna do it for this video. Drink
birds
water,
will
hug your mother.
absolutely catch
Shout out to
hands.
Cosby for sponsoring this video. Shout out to the Pigeon Paralysis Demon for sponsoring Imagination. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Next one. Don't give him a like and a follow and a subscribe and a... I'll find you. Like me too, Icos, I guess, and subscribe. Not that I care or anything. Baka.